Hello and good evening, everyone. It is Karina here, your host, and this is another amazing interview. Tonight, I have the fabulous Cynthia Stant, who is a multi-seven-figure producing sales expert. She's also the host of Spiritual Success podcast, which I've been listening to. Absolutely love it. Very inspiring. She is also a passionate speaker who teaches artfully and authentically. Cynthia, it is such an honor and a pleasure to have you here tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Tell me a little bit more about you. And I also like to learn something that you love to do outside of work, just to get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
So what is your background?
So my background. So since the beginning of I Can Start, I've really always been into sales. I absolutely love sales. I think there's a mindset change that a lot of people need to make about it as far as scammy, spammy. Just replace that with serving and all things will change, right? So it's really just about being your authentic self. It's really about creating emotional connections. And it's really about being earning that trust of people. I always look at it when it comes to sales is like dropping that stone in the water. We've kind of seen it with the ripple effects. That it's how you serve your purpose. It's how you make transformation. It's how you feed your family, which affects your clients, which affects their clients. And so I really enjoy selling, that's for sure. So I've been in sales since the beginning, and I've done every single type there is.
Awesome. So tell me two things that you love doing outside of work.
So outside of work, I just moved to Florida, and I'm obsessed with it. I love it. The palm trees much happier. I don't even care if it rains half the day. It's just it's so amazing. And I live 10 minutes from the beach. So I have to be by the water. I need to be on the water. I have to, my kids, they inherited it. So I have my two little boys who go to the beach all the time. And then also, I'm really sad, but I am a Disney fan like crazy. And one of the reasons that's good to be in Florida, when that opens up, trust me, I'll be back there all the time.
Awesome. Awesome. I absolutely love the beach as well. Just listening to the waves, sitting at the beach, and it's amazing. I love nature. So tell me, so I know you said you've been in sales for many, many years. When was that? How long have you actually been coaching on your own, coaching other entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, actually, there's been a big shift. So a little background real quick. So it kind of adds up to it. I talk a lot, so slow me down or stop me if you need to. When I was younger, I was in the hospitality industry, and I knew that to make the most change in my pocket was to sell wine and spirits because that's where the biggest margins were. So I studied like crazy, became an interest sommelier, and then I got my foot in the door at Jim Beam, actually. So 14 interviews later, I landed the position of being the state portfolio manager. So that was really huge. At 23, I managed 40 people, and there was at least almost all of them double my age. They have people older than me. Great experience. But it's nights, holidays, weekends. It's when everybody's drinking, right? It's traveling to Vegas. It's Miami, and then it's Kentucky, and that was fun and glamorous. But when you start having children, not so much. There's a lot of dark things in that industry too. So I ended up having my second baby, and I realized I didn't know how to be a good mom. I was so delegating, and I was right? I was so used to being at meetings, to have meetings, and I just didn't know how to just chill, and be present. Yeah. And so that's when it all started. And I hired my first mentor to really work on actually the spiritual side, which is the meditation. So sales coaching didn't start first. I learned to meditate. Next thing I know, my sales actually got way better because I learned how to read and listen to what people weren't saying and connect to them energetically.
Wow.
But coaching actually started as intuitive coaching. So what was interesting is that it was more intuitive development, but it wasn't necessarily attracting the people I wanted to work with. And that was because I was like, guys, let's talk, success tonight. Let's talk freedom. Let's talk failure. Let's talk about these real concepts, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no, Cynthia, let's talk astral traveling. Let's talk crystals. And I'm like, guys, I love that shit too. I can do that, but I want to be serious. So that's really when I realized success and spirituality go hand in hand, hence spiritual success. And then also a lot of that connection and understanding energy and connecting to people emotionally and being able to sell something that's expensive doesn't come easily. It's about earning trust, and it's all about building relationships. And so spiritual success kind of got hand in hand. And so I've been coaching about 3 years, and then the sales aspect only been about a year and a half now.
Wow, that's very interesting how you say just intuitively listening to what people are not saying, really connecting with them when it comes to, and like you said, don't see it as sales, see it as service. I love that. So tell me, how did you master the art of meditation and your ability to really connect your to hone into your intuition and create massive results?
Honestly, the first time you ever want to do something right, you hire somebody. If you want to go quicker, you want to go better, you want to go stronger, you're going to learn from somebody else's mistakes, you hire somebody. So when I started my business, I hired a business coach. When I started my company, first thing I did was hire an employee. When I wanted to learn to meditate, I hired a mentor. Had almost, I would say, at least 7 mentors just on the metaphysical sides of things now. But I hired a mentor. And I remember I showed up. What are you doing here? I was like, I have no idea. She's like, great, let's get started. And I was like, okay. So she told me to meditate. And what I learned and what I've studied, and after doing with every church, religion, group there is, some people will say, oh my gosh, I just love gardening. Gardening to me is my meditation. And that's wonderful. If you love gardening, kudos, that's great. But it's not meditation. And a lot of people will say, oh my gosh, I love guided meditations. And I think that's awesome too. That brings you peace, wonderful. But that's more like imagining, visioning. That's more of law of assumption. That's daydreaming. And those are all powerful and important, but it's not meditation. Even prayer. I love prayer. Prayer is prayer, meditation is meditation. So meditation truly is the art of doing nothing. It doesn't sound easy. Guess what? It's not. I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of practice. But every single thing you want as far as success, and success is more than just money and business, right? It's personal goals, it's weight loss, it's romantic, it's friendship. Everything you want comes with after disciplining your mind. And so it wasn't easy, and I hired somebody. Quick answer.
Wow. So when you mastered, let's say the intuition creating massive results, what did you did you have a mentor that kind of guided you into kind of opening up to the relationship between intuition, honing in your intuition to success?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can reach success in many different ways, but to me, like, just honing into your intuition is not easy, like you said, but it's possible. It's not easy. How did you say it? It's not easy.
It's simple, but it's not easy.
Simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah. It's a one-step thing, but it's not necessarily easy to do. So, so I've honestly, it's funny because I've worked with 8-figure business coaches. I've worked with every type of metaphysical coach. So I work with Reiki masters. I work with legit magi. I've worked with just metaphysical doctors, like everything. For me, I can't ever put a number on the amount I want to invest as far as coming up my soul's purpose, right? Like, success level that I'm going to hit, like that. I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with success, but in a way, just like hitting goals and having fulfillment and allowing what's meaning to emerge through me. So what really happened was when I started meditating, I do it every single day, every day, 20 minutes. That's it, guys. And what happened was I would sit and got so comfortable with my own vibration. So I literally knew what it was like to be in my own presence, to be present. And what happened was I would be and I started noticing literally within 2 weeks that I'd be like, that's weird. That doesn't feel like my usual energy. And then I'd be like, oh, that doesn't either. In fact, that's a little bit of Karina. That's Susan. Like, Susan, did you know what your energy is saying? And it's weird because when you connect with energy, words are limiting. Like, you just have these thoughts that come to you. And it's different than having a thought. It's more of like, this is what I'm supposed to be. Because you're no longer thinking so much about the future and so much about the past. You're just observing things for what they are, not labeling them. So you're experiencing them. And it's almost like breadcrumbs. You start noticing all the little signs and all the little magical synchronicities that line up. So it leads you to the perfect client. It leads you to the perfect person to hire. It makes you have that conversation with that person you never would have had a conversation with before that ends up being the love of your life, who then, introduces you to your next whatever. Like, it's all about understanding that you don't have to be in control and that everything's perfect the way it is. Just allow it to come through one day. So intuition really helped me so much with success. Every mentor, I like almost created them in my mind. So when I saw them, boom, that was that person. Of course it's that person. I made them. I created them into my reality.
Yeah. So it's like an energy that you're just attracted to that person, and you go and you speak to that person, or you ask them a question, and then there's just something, it just keeps going until you realize, okay, this is my client, or this is my mentor, or this is
It's knowing your own energy, but also understanding like energy in general. So like, for instance, I usually have a fancy tool. Let's see if I can find one. Here we go. This is really random, but I have eye drops on me. So okay, I have a fancy tool, guys. Ooh, eye drops. Okay. I let it go. We all know it's just going to like float away, right?
Right.
No, you know, it's going to fall because of gravity. Ooh, this is really fancy. How do we know it's going to fall, right? Gravity. It's the law. What goes up must come down. But the thing is, we don't actually see gravity, but we know how to utilize it. Because gravity is a law. The reason it's a law is because it's consistent. It works for Karina the same way it works for me, as for people viewing it here, people across the world. It works for everybody the same. Now, there's so many universal laws out there that if you bring them into your awareness, they can start working for you. And if you don't know about them, they could be working against you. So it's understanding your own energy and understanding universal concepts so that when you see things, you're not labeling them or thinking like they're, you know, going against you, that they are just what they are, and you can start kind of working what you want to be. So you almost use the law of assumption, which means you assume and create what you want, and then allow it to come through and emerge so that when it's right in front of you, it's like, boom, hello, here it is. And you just know to make a decision. So yeah.
Wow, that's just mind-blowing. That's very interesting. So you are obviously the expert and have achieved spiritual success. Cynthia, what would you say are the top 2 or 3 to 5 KPIs of spiritual success?
Oh, you just mix sales with spirituality. I love it. KPI. All right. So key performance indicators, things that you know you can measure that you're doing well to get to the success.
Right.
If I could label them, I would say 1 would be discipline. 2 would be vulnerability. Vulnerability. And then 3 is motivation, or I even like to take this as far as obsession. So what do you do? So like, you can tell how successful you're going to be based off the amount of discipline you have in your life. You can tell how successful you're going to be based off how vulnerable you allow yourself to be. You can tell how successful you're going to be based off how motivated or obsessed you are with getting there. So those would be the 3 things that I would probably say. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Love that. I'm taking note. And so what would you say as an expert? What is your advice for those people out there who want to create an environment where they can reach spiritual success? What does that environment look like? And where they can create and gain that spiritual success?
Oh, I love that. Your environment. That's really cool. First of all, everything on the outside of you, your environment, is really a reflection of what's happening to you internally. Okay. Because you label everything for what it is. Nothing is good. Nothing is bad. Quick little example that I like to put out there is, you know, you can play along with me. It's not a trick question, but if I was to say, I'm going to say one word and I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. So ready? Here it is. That's 2 words, technically. Black cat. First thing that comes to your mind.
Cuddly.
Because, you know, most people would say bad luck. They'll say superstitious. I always say Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. Some people will say witches, but you said cute. Somebody will say cuddly. Some people will say, you know, companion. How can you get bad luck and companion in the same thing, right? It's like, it's just a cat. That itself never changes the way that you want to view it. So everything that you're viewing and labeling is your environment. And so whatever's happening in here is what you're going to see when you're out here. So your environment really is important to 1. It all starts with you. It all starts with your mindset. It all starts with your discipline and how you control your thoughts. The other thing is, you are the 5 people that you keep around you. You can see what's happening inside you internally and emotionally by looking at the 5 people closest to you. So be picky, be choosy, be protective. Be around people. You want to be the smallest person in the room. You want to have people that are doing things that you want to do. So I really recommend you find a community that is supportive, that is hungry, that is wanting this, and isn't going to make you feel bad or guilty or any of that based off your ambitious goals.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting a call while I'm on the. Awesome. I absolutely love. So really, like you said, it starts with you, with the mindset, how you perceive it. I love the analogy that you use because you're so right. Like it's just a cat, but everyone can see it completely different. You can choose to see it as a cute, cuddly cat or as scary or bad luck or, you know, something like that.
everything. Yeah.
That's amazing. Awesome. So before we end the interview here, Cynthia, how can people connect with you?
Yay. I would love that. That'd be super awesome. Honestly, I'm doing the most fun thing ever right now. I feel so called to do it. I feel so aligned with it, and it's been so fulfilling. So I have a Facebook group. It's called the Spiritual Success Sorority. It is called sorority. Men are welcome. Everybody is welcome. I just like alliteration, Cynthia Stant, Anyway, the Spiritual Success Sorority is my Facebook group. So in there every week, I do a poll because I don't want to talk about things that I think you guys want to hear. I want to talk about things I know you want to hear. So we do polls, and I'll do weekly live trainings. We have a really cool upcoming workshop August 17th that I'm really excited about. And that's because it's all about master meditation. That meditation I was telling you about, the kind you actually set your thoughts
Yes.
off. So not the easy kind, but you ask and you shall receive. So many people are asking for it. So I'm excited to host that starting on August 17th in that Facebook group.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm going to check that one out. So definitely, yeah, connect with Cynthia, follow her, join her group. I am part of her group, and it is an amazing group, a community of just amazing women, empowering women who just really, they uplift each other, and it's just amazing. So definitely follow her, connect with her. And Cynthia, any last words, any last tips or advice you'd like to give our viewers before we end the interview tonight?
I do. If you have like a burning calling, a desire, something that is waiting to emerge through you, just know that you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Just allow yourself to be vulnerable is your biggest superpower. And just know if you can do that, that thing that's waiting to emerge through you will come out. So again, I always say just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's the best advice I could ever give anybody. Stop labeling things as scary. Label them as exciting. They're exciting. They're not scary. Just change that. And you'll conquer anything. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Definitely. Stop. Just really shift your mindset. I always say, and this is an old saying, but I always say it, see the glass half full instead of half empty. You have that choice. And definitely stepping out of your comfort zone is really going to get you to a place of growth. So amazing. Love the inspiration and the advice. Once again, Cynthia, it was such a pleasure to have you and to get to know more about you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here today. And I just want to thank all of our viewers, whether you are watching live or replay. Thank you so much. And until next time.